the presentation myself. Let me try. One moment. Okay, wait. Yeah, it seems I cannot share my screen. Present now. Okay, I think okay now. I think uh-huh. Okay. Okay, I think I can present now. Okay, there I go. All right. Okay. Okay. I think that makapag-share na ako ng screen po, I think. Can anyone see my screen? My presentation?
Yes, Sir
Yeah.
Gerard.
Okay.
Yes, we can
Yay,
see
finally.
visibly your
Okay.
presentation, sir.
How about my microphone? Am I clear, ma'am?
Yes, it's
Yes, Sir
very
Gerard.
clear.
Okay,
Everything
thank you so
clear.
much. Okay, so sorry for all those difficulties we've experienced. Anyway, again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you everyone for inviting me for this very prestigious event, webinar for the assistive, breaking the barriers for assistive technology and for visually impaired people. And again, I also want to thank the Coalition in Inclusion and special educators and also the PNU itself. You know, everyone, thank you so much for inviting me. It's been an honor for me to present and to break the misconceptions when it regards to visually impaired people. But first, let me tell you a little bit about my life story to further emphasize the message about these misconceptions, you know, breaking this myth about visually impaired. So, you know, gone were the days where um, once we talk about visually impaired people, ang kaya lang gawin is magmamasahe or mamamalimos or worse, nasa bahay lang po. So, gone were the days where people with visual impairment are so helpless because of our disabilities. Nowadays, visually impaired people, as we have seen in the video earlier while waiting for the time, most, if not all, visually impaired people around the world are already professionals or at least working, at least having a livelihood or business in themselves. So, in other words, people with visual impairment are already independent in our lives now. As for myself, too. So, as for my life story, yes, I was raised in Iligan City, but I was born in Iloilo City po. Um, but when I was born premature, only 6 months and 4 days, and then I spent 3 months of my time in when I was young, very young, 3 months in the hospital in Iloilo City, and after being able to complete the 9 month period of being born, then I was then sent back to Iligan City with my family. But then when I was young, growing up, I had a clear vision in my right eye. In fact, I was able to draw, write, and read normally. In fact, my talent back then was more related to arts, very visual. So I was good in drawing, painting, doing still art drawings, and all those other kinds of arts and things. And then I gradually, actually suddenly, lost my eyesight when I turned 20 years old in 2010. Yeah, and after that, I was diagnosed to have a retinal detachment, which apparently na nandito na pala sa akin since I was young. Sabi lang ng mga doctor dati, my eyes were just not developed, and then just went on with my life, just trying to care for my eyes. Pero, yun nga, hindi ko nga alam na meron pa akong ganitong condition. So, I was just like a normal teenager back then, playing games, computer games, and all those, things that teenagers usually do. And then eventually, when I lost my eyes, I flew along with my grandma to Manila, where my mother used to live, is living currently, and I undertook an eye operation in University of Santo Tomas Hospital in 2010. But then that failed the next year, so I decided to embrace the life of a visually impaired person by living in the community with blind people in Quezon City. So that was a time when I met these organizations like Resources for the Blind Incorporated, or RBI, and Achieve, or Adaptive Technology for Rehabilitation, Integration, and Empowerment of the Visually Impaired, in where I learned how to use a computer, all these technology stuff, how to use all of them, even without sight. That ironically opened my eyes to the possibility of improvement of life, and also empowerment at the same time, being able to still continue on with our skills and our talents through the help of technology, all thanks to Achieve. And after that, yes, as I've mentioned earlier, I finished a 2-year computer programming in AMA Computer Learning Center in Paco, and also finished my degree back here in Iligan in 2019, degree in elementary education, major in special education. And thanks to the Lord, I finished, and I was able to pass the licensure exam for teachers here in Region 10 in 2022. All of those, all those achievements is a living proof that a visually impaired person can really be independent on his own, even be on par with people, with regular people, regular-sided people. Basta lang, we are equipped with the right skills, right um, knowledge, and how to become independent through the help of technology. Kalimitan ng mga misconceptions ng mga tao pag sinabing visually impaired, hindi pwedeng magko-computer, hindi pwedeng mag-Facebook, hindi pwedeng mag-email or stuff like that, anything related to electronics and gadgets. Yan ang pag-uusapan po natin for this morning. Right. So, and then now, currently, apart from finishing all those pre-requirements for a better professional life, I also did a freelancing, online freelancing before, article writing, transcription, and then now currently I'm an online English teacher, um, teaching Vietnamese, Koreans, and Polish students how about conversational English and business English. Also a little bit with English tests tulad ng IELTS, or yung International English Language Testing System na preparation. Yeah, so and I'm really proud. I could say that I'm proud to achieve all of these things through the help of technology and all the support group that I have around me. Kasi hindi lahat sa ngayon, hindi pa lahat dito sa amin ang nakaka-achieve niyan. In fact, here in the entire region, then I believe, I think I'm still yet the only one who was able to finish college and also pass the licensure exam for teachers. There are a few I knew who tried, but unfortunately they haven't passed the let yet. But siguro in the future they will. I believe so. Yeah, and so yeah, that's my life, and you can see through that, all of those, I was able to achieve all those things because of technology. Kung hindi ako na-introduce dito sa assisted technology po na ito, I don't think I would be able to achieve all these things. Siguro magiging masahista lang din ako ngayon. Just kidding. So yun, yeah, that was my life. And yes, I will be talking more about this assistive technology to break the barriers and to debunk these misconceptions that we usually have in our minds, societies usually have when it comes to talking about people with visual impairment. And also, before talking about that anyway, when we talk about visual impairment, I think most of you already know about this. But pag sinabi po kasi nating bulag, hindi po ibig sabihin hindi na agad nakakakita altogether. It's a spectrum just like autism. So it's a mix between low vision and light perception and totally blind people. Not necessarily that every visually impaired person would be needing a white cane to walk around. Some could still manage to walk with their own without any assistance. Pero medyo malabo lang yung paningin. Meron po mga ganong cases. So it's really a spectrum. So yun po ang scope ng visual impairment. And so again, with all of that being said, moving forward to my topic for this morning, talking about assistive technology. So first, meron akong dalawang topic or dalawang subtopics from this talk, which is about hardware and software, which I'm gonna be dealing more later with software. But first, let me talk about hardware devices. So the hardware devices we use are just regular computer and phone devices. Hindi tulad ng sinasabi ng iba. Lagi itong tinatanong po sa akin na ano ba yung computer na ginagamit mo? Yun bang keyboard meron bang meron ba yung braille yung keyboard mo na braille dots para ma-recognize yung mga letters? No, actually, that's gonna be chaotic if there would be some a little bit braille dots in these regular keyboards that we use. The keyboard, the mouse, all the peripherals, and also the entire computer system unit that we use are just regular computers, same as what you guys use. It's just that meron lang talagang software or application na ini-enable or ini-install so that we can successfully or efficiently use our computers as normal. So as you can see here on my screen, just regular laptop, regular computers. In fact, the one that I'm using right now is just a regular desktop computer with sufficient specs so that I could use my computer efficiently when teaching online. Same with smartphones. So sinasabi ng iba, um, 'pag sinabing smartphone, lalo 'pag touchscreen, paano mo makikita, hindi mo paano mo mata-touch yung gusto mong i-click or i-tap on the screen, hindi mo nga nakikita, 'di ba? So, meron na lang talagang software na ini-install in that smartphone or touchscreen device so that we could still know what we're trying to navigate around it. So, more on that later on, no? So meron ding meron din akong na-encounter, I think week. um I was trying to talk to a particular person, in a university. She's actually a PhD already, and then she wasn't aware about this. And then I talked to her and asked her I could do a talk in your team so that you guys will be aware about this assistive technology that I'm talking right now. And she told me, "How are you going to?" No, we cannot do that. Hindi natin pwedeng gawin yan. Hindi pwedeng mag-messenger, hindi pwedeng mag-email kasi hindi mo nakikita. So, yun ang mga dapat nating isipin na misconceptions na hindi na totoo sa mga panahong ito, lalo in the advent of technology. And apart from these regular, by the way, regular, um, computers, regular laptops, regular smartphones na ginagamit namin, meron pang additional though na hardware devices that is designed specifically for visually impaired people. But before that, ito yung mga misconceptions. Yun nga, yung computers daw namin is specially manufactured for visually impaired people. No, it's just regular computers. Can just go to any computer shop or computer store and just buy whatever computers we like, depending on the kind of specs we want and we need, and be done with it. And yung computer keyboards, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, computer keyboards daw merong braille. Me personally, hindi rin ako masyadong marunong ng braille. I think ang alam ko lang sa braille is just grade 1, yung alphabets. But when it comes to the actual contraction, doon na nagkakatalo. Medyo kulelat ako dun kasi nga late na akong naging visually impaired. So, yun nga, yung keyboard na ginagamit namin is just regular laptop or desktop keyboards with the regular keys embossed in it. Yun lang yung home keys, and yung home keys lang ng F and J and number 5 in desktop keyboards, yun lang yung medyo naka-emboss, medyo merong umbok ng onte for home row key. But other than that, these are just regular keys. Yan. So ito yung mga specialist devices that we use um in aiding us in our daily lives, especially when it comes to working online or working with our computers. So first, you can see on the screen is what we call the standard Perkins Brailler. This is another specialist device though that we use um to efficiently and much faster yung pagta-type po namin sa Braille. Para siyang typewriter na ginagamit ng mga visually impaired people para mas mabilis yung pagta-type or pagsusulat sa Braille. Um, sa nakakaalam, of course, meron tayong traditional one, yung stylus and slate to input or to write in a Braille paper. And meron din po ito parang typewriter, tinatawag na Perkins Brailler. So it works like a typewriter. Just insert the paper onto the slit of this brailler, and then I can just do your combinations of dots as to what kind of letter you're going to write. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 space 4, 5, 6. All right. So yun yung isa. Ito din, refreshable braille display. So this one is another hardware electronic device. It is attached to the computer and works like a monitor. But instead of displaying the screen, displaying the graphics and text on the screen, dinidisplay siya through a braille display. So yung dots na nasa surface ng braille display, refreshable siya, yung mga pins, and it corresponds as to what kind of words or letters are you trying to read on the screen, or on the screen of your computer. So efficient itong klaseng hardware device nito, extra attachment, especially for those who are so visually impaired na medyo adept when it comes to reading braille. And also, it's much more efficient if you don't like using a headset or earphones at para hindi maingay yung environment. Much more suitable for financial firms or offices or anything related to money or words, I mean, parang data, ganyan. So, ginagamit siya sa mga instances na yan para ang isang visually impaired worker working in a computer can just read on data on a refreshable braille display. Again, for me, parang hindi ko masyadong gagamit kasi I'm not really good in Braille actually. But yeah, these kinds of devices do exist to further help visually impaired be more productive using a computer device. And lastly, I have here, wala na pala. Meron sana akong ipapakita pang isa na yung tinatawag na uh, magnifier na physical magnifier, parang machine magnifier. It's like a CCTV. Mukha siyang CCTV. Meron siyang TV in front of you. Tapos sa baba nun, meron siyang parang scanner where like a camera down below. Tapos when you insert your physical paper there, um, ma-enhance, ma-magnify siya dun sa screen sa TV in front of you. And you could invert the color, you could zoom in, zoom out para mas mabasa. And that kind of device is much more intended for low vision people, yung nakakabasa pa ng prints. So that's it for the hardware devices. Dako naman po tayo dito sa software and application. So here in this aspect, I'm also gonna do a little demo later on how this thing works. Hopefully maririnig po ninyo yung audio ko ng maayos. Yeah. So yun, yung i-demo ko mamaya yung tinatawag na screen reader so that everyone would have a better idea on how we navigate our computers with this software or applications. The first software that we normally use is what we call a screen reader app or screen reader software or application. Yun nga, sinasabi ko na lahat ng mga electronic devices like computers, desktop, laptop, smartphones, Android, iPhone, nagagamit na po ng isang visually impaired person as long as he or she can know how to use a screen reader application. So from the word itself, from the name itself, screen reader, so it basically reads everything that is shown on the screen. So binabasa niya lahat ng mga text, lahat ng mga prompts, bubbles, and messages, everything that a cursor would be highlighting on the screen, either on a computer, a desktop computer, or a smartphone. So it basically gives off an audible feedback as to what you are doing, what you are typing, what you are navigating or reading in front of you in your screen. So, yan nga, tulad ng sinabi ko, typing. So, kahit na yung pagta-type namin, sinasabi na lahat ng mga keys na pinipindot po namin sa keyboard po namin. So, in that way, we will be able to know if mali ba yung spelling namin, tama ba yung mga sinulat namin ng messages, yung grammar and everything. That's also the same reason why I'm now able to teach online through the help of this technology. So these are screen readers. For Windows Yeah, for Windows, we primarily use two kinds of screen readers po. Ito yung pinakauna, yung nakikita natin sa screen, itong Job Access with Speech or mas kilala sa tawag na JAWS for Windows. Itong JAWS for Windows ay dinevelop po ng Freedom Scientific Corporation. This is a very, very powerful screen reading application because it read almost everything, if not all. Pwede lang kung unlabeled or medyo inaccessible pa rin yung website or yung application na nina-navigate. But other than that, normally, under normal circumstance, this kind of screen reader can read everything. Like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, documents, website, common websites, ganyan. Ang major drawback lang po nitong JAWS or Job Access with Speech na screen reader application merong bayad yung license niya, which is very very expensive for a regular person, for even for more for a regular visually impaired person. So that's why a lot of volunteers come together, and then blind programmers and developers using Python programming technology dinevelop itong screen reader na next natin, which is NVDA or non-visual desktop access. So compared to JAWS, which is also very powerful, itong NVDA medyo powerful din, of course, even better now in my own perspective, better now than JAWS. And it also reads everything, of course, unless if it's unlabeled or inaccessible application or website. And ang major advantage nito NVDA or non-visual desktop access is free siya. Wala siyang bayad once you download it. And even you guys can actually download this for free. You just have to go to their official website, which is nvaccess.org. That's nvaccess.org. And you can download this particular application for free. You can donate if you want, but if you don't want to, it's okay. You can also download this along with the voice that we love from JAWS, which is Eloquence, or IBM TTS from another website, which is called blindhelp.net. That's blindhelp.net. So you can clearly download these kinds of applications for free. I mean, especially this NVDA. So ito yung kalimitang ginagamit namin ng screen reader in a Windows-based operating system computer. And as for Apple devices, either iPhone, iMac, MacBook, ang ginagamit naman na screen reader using those devices ay yung tinatawag natin na voice over. And it's very built-in. Hindi na siya kailangan i-download and i-install. You just have to activate it up once you boot up your computer or your phone, your iPhone. As for iPhones, pwede nyo i-try ngayon. As for iPhones, you can activate this going down to settings, and then general, and then accessibility, and then voiceover. Makikita nyo siya there in the window of accessibility, and then just turn it on. Mind you, magiging iba lang yung gesture once you turn this particular screen reader on. Don't worry though, ang principle lang is by 2 or by 3s. Once you want to activate a particular thing or item or icon, whatever on the screen, you just have to double tap that particular icon. Once you want to scroll up and scroll down or flick left to right, you just have to use 3-finger gesture. So sabay-sabay tatlong daliri on the screen, up and down, to scroll up or scroll down or flick left or flick right. So ganun lang po yung principle using this particular screen reader. Also same with Android devices. We also have built-in screen readers in Android devices called Google Talkback, or ngayon mas kilala na sa tawag na Android Accessibility Suite, because it's a combination of all other accessibility tools for visually impaired people. But the particular screen reader we use is what we call Google Talkback. So same principle, it reads everything that you tap on the screen or you explore on the screen using your finger. And to be able to activate anything on the screen with this screen reader turned on, you just have to press the screen twice with one finger, and then scroll up and scroll down using two fingers naman sa Android device. Two fingers up and down or two fingers left to right if you want to flick your screen left to right. So don't panic. Huwag po kayo mag-alala kung gusto niyo siyang i-try ngayon. And as for Windows, ito, ini-install po itong NVDA. But do you know that yung Windows natin, Windows computers natin, meron ding built-in na screen reader which is called Narrator or Windows Narrator. Yung Windows Narrator naman, same principle lang din using with NVDA and JAWS. It reads everything that is happening on the screen. It reads everything that's being highlighted by the cursor and your what you're typing. It also says everything, and you can a visually impaired can also activate these kinds of these narrator through a combination of keyboard shortcuts without the help of any sighted assistance. So talaga nga po, gone were the days na talaga. Gone were the days where a visually impaired person is so helpless, even when turning on these screen readers. Ngayon, meron ng keyboard shortcut built in through the Windows operating system para ma-enable or ma-disable na po yung narrator. How can we do that? To turn on the Windows or turn off the Windows narrator, you can just do a combination key in your keyboard of Control Windows Enter. So yan. Control Windows Enter po para mabuksan ang Windows narrator. Same goes. Control Windows Enter lang din para patayin or i-turn off yung ating Windows narrator. Ang downside lang po ng Windows narrator which is built in Windows operating system, limited lang yung access niya. It can only read basic Windows, basic texts, and also, for example, Word, for example. But it cannot read everything in some websites. It cannot read some applications too. So that's why most visually impaired screen reader users would still prefer going to either JAWS or NVDA. And apart from talking about limitations anyway, yes, these are, you could say, oh, kaya na pala ng bulag yung yung paggamit ng computer. Well, yes, almost, but not everything. Meron pa rin pong limitation itong screen readers na ginagamit po namin, both in computer devices and Android or I think even iPhone devices too. Primarily, hindi po nababasa ng screen readers namin yung images or pictures displayed on the screen, especially if that particular picture in a document or website doesn't have any alternative text or yung tinatawag po natin na alt text. To give you more perspective, these alt text cannot be seen visually with our eyes, but it can be read by screen readers. And it will also, although it will show up kung mahina po yung signal or malabo po yung signal sa isang website. So lalabas po yung alt text kung merong alt text yung pictures na naka-embed sa websites. So ang purpose ng alt text, of course, is for us visually impaired people to be able to still know what's in the picture through that alt text, because it serves as a description or text description for that particular picture. At isa din po yan sa tinuturo namin at ini-emphasize po namin sa training namin from Achieve, yung tinatawag po natin na document accessibility training. So, yun, yung pictures or images, yun yung limitation ng screen readers. And apart from that, ako personally din, lagi ko ito na-encounter as an ESL teacher. One great challenge for me as an online ESL teacher or online English as a second language teacher is yung mga materials na ginagamit ng mga ESL centers. Most of them are in PDF format. Yes, okay, we can open it up. We can download and open that particular document. But most PDFs are scanned copies of books. So coming from physical books or coming from electronic books tapos pinicturan, tapos kinumpal into one particular book. Parang ganun siguro yung ginawa nila. Kasi once we open a particular scanned PDF, okay, PDF siya, pero scan siya, di ba? So, magiging picture format siya or image format, right? So kaya po hindi siya magiging accessible din for us unless we uh, we convert that into an accessible format, which again brings us to another problem kasi yung accuracy naman yung issue doon. So in my years of being an online English teacher since 2019, I've always asked somebody, either from a friend or someone nakakilala or even from my wife, um, na i-encode talaga yung contents ng PDF documents. Yeah, so medyo hassle siya for me, but it's worthwhile. It's worth it kasi nagagamit ko naman yung mga books na pinapa-encode ko in lifetime na. So, yun, yung mga screen readers for different devices again. In a computer, we use JAWS or Job Access with Speech or NVDA, Non-Visual Desktop Access. And for Android devices, we commonly use Google Talkback. Meron na din ngayon yung tinatawag na Commentary Screen Reader or Jishuo, which was created by Chinese programmers. So, isa din yan sa commonly na ginagamit ngayon kasi mas mabilis yung response niya kumpara dito sa Google Talkback. Yeah. And then, sa ano naman, iPhone or Apple devices, ang ginagamit naman namin yung tinatawag na voice over screen reader application. Ngayon, which brings me to the next software that we commonly use, which again, yung tulad related dun sa sinabi ko kanina tungkol sa PDF na hindi accessible yung mga PDF documents. Yes, what we normally do apart from, having somebody really encode, which is kind of costly for us, encode these documents, ginagamitan din po namin sila ng OCR application. OCR stands for Optical Character Recognition Software. It's a kind of software application where it tries to recognize the texts written or seen on a picture or a particular PDF. No? So, isa to sa method na ginagawa ko una. I try to convert these PDF into Word format where the texts are editable. And some PDF na kino-convert ay accurate naman yung content. Same naman yung text na na-extract niya from a PDF. It's just that there are some, lalo kung hindi maganda yung pagkaka-scan, malabo yung text, malabo din yung pagkaka-convert ng OCR. So, medyo magulo yung mga text or iba-iba symbols yung lumalabas upon conversion. So, as you can see there, it really converts those documents and tries to extract the texts in those pictures so that screen readers like NVDA can recognize and read those texts in those documents. So, meron kaming iba-ibang klaseng OCR or OCR software na ginagamit. So, dati ito ginagamit namin itong open book software or open book OCR, which is also another product from Freedom Scientific, the one who created JAWS or Job Access with Speech Screen Reader. Again, tulad ng JAWS, may bayad po itong open book. So, medyo mahal din siya yung mga products ng Freedom Scientific. Another one is this one, the ABBYY Fine Reader. It also works the same like open book, so it tries to feed you try to feed it with the document you want to convert and then convert it, and then it will try to extract those texts in those PDF to Word document. So apart from this, yung Windows din, tulad ng Windows Narrator, meron ding built-in na OCR API or OCR feature yung Windows operating system. Though, I don't know how are we going to enable that natively, but we can utilize that OCR feature ng Windows operating system through the help of NVDA, especially in Windows 10 and up. So, nagagamit naman yung OCR na feature by pressing some combination keys dito sa keyboard using NVDA. So, tinatapatan lang namin ng cursor yung picture, for example, or PDF, or any picture on the screen with our NVDA. Tapos, we just press Insert R dito sa keyboard namin, or Caps Lock R. And then, it will try to recognize the text from that particular picture or site. Yan. So, napaka-importante po yung accessibility ng mga documents din natin. Kasi kahit na meron mga assistive technology na ganito, meron pa rin pong limitations. That's why, for us, trainers in Achieve, that's our, I think, lifetime advocacy that we conduct these kinds of accessibility trainings para tulad natin mga educators, mga content creators, and also document creators, ay alam natin anong gagawin para mabasa talaga fully ng technology nito tulad nitong screen readers, yung mga documents or yung mga learning materials, yung mga modules na ginagawa natin, handouts, websites, para lahat yan ay accessible po even for visually impaired people. So, yun yung ilan lang sa mga technology na ginagamit po namin, yung OCR, screen readers. We also have, for low vision din po, no? Hindi lang para sa mga totally blind, of course. We also have different technologies, magnification technologies for low vision. Dati, ang ginagamit nila is yung tinatawag na zoom text. Ito, screen magnifiers. So, yung screen magnifiers naman is of course from the word itself, it magnifies the screen to make the text or make the images bigger for better viewing for people with low vision. And dati meron silang kami pala, kasama pala ako noon nung low vision, medyo low vision pa ako. Kaya medyo severe na yung pagka low vision ko eh. Dati nung medyo nakakita pa ako ng konti after operation. I also tried using a magnification application. And naalala ko dating ginamit namin is yung tinatawag na Zoom Text. So it literally lalo nung Windows XP pa, so pinapamagnify namin yung screen so that makita namin yung text and also the interface itself of a particular window or application using that Zoom Text. It also has a screen reading feature so that aside from magnifying the screen, it also reads ano yung natatapatan po ng cursor namin. Ngayon, yung tulad ng ng binanggit ko rin kanina, meron ng built-in na Windows narrator for Windows, meron na ring OCR feature Windows na na-utilize ng mga screen reading applications. Yung meron din pong built-in magnification feature yung Windows operating system or Windows magnifier na tinatawag. So we can quickly enable that by pressing Windows plus dito sa keyboard. So Windows plus lang po yung gagamitin namin para po ma-enable at saka kung gusto naman i-disable yung mismo magnification, we just press the Windows minus dito sa screen. Or Windows escape pala. Windows minus para ma-zoom out. Windows plus para to activate and to zoom in. And then, if you want to invert the color para black and white siya or inverted yung color para mas hindi masakit para sa mata ng mga low vision, we just have to press the Control Alt I sa keyboard po namin. So, you can see how the manner of how visually impaired people use these devices, computers, keyboard lang talaga. Through NVDA, we can use mouse. We can use mouse kasi binabasa rin niya yung mga text or mga elements na nasa screen na natatapatan ng cursor relatively fine, though not too accurate, of course. But when it comes to comfort and really convenience when it comes to using our computers and navigating through the interface of the Windows OS or Windows computer, keyboard na talaga ang ginagamit namin in navigation. Arrow keys up and down, left and right, arrow keys, enter para pumasok, or spacebar para i-activate ang icon or item, escape to go back or to escape from a particular window or message box, tab or shift tab naman po para manavigate from one element to another element in a window or application. So, and then in a particular website, kung magbabrowse kami ng mga websites like Facebook, email, YouTube, search in Google or Bing or use a chat GPT or whatever chat feature, we just navigate through the letter keys or single letter navigation dito sa keyboard po namin. For example, we just have to press uh, H dito sa sa keyboard namin to navigate from one heading to another heading. So H lang kami dyan. Tapos if you want to activate a particular heading, kung link siya, just have to press enter from it. And if you want to go back to the previous headings, so you just add shift. So magiging shift H siya. And then G, again, that's the same manner we use with other single letters here for navigation. H for heading, G for graphics, E for edit fields, yung mga edit boxes na pinagtatypan natin. And B for buttons, ganyan. Tulad ng mga confirm button, enter, login button, ganyan, yung mga comment button, yeah, any button up on a website or web page, ay nananavigate namin yan, all those kinds of buttons, using the B here, letter B here dito sa keyboard po namin. So, yun, ganon po kami mag-navigate using our computers. So hopefully, all of these things that I talked about today would give you more perspective na ma-open yung natin, yung mindset natin, yung perspective natin when it comes to dealing with people with visual impairment, especially going up to college and postgraduate courses, no? Kasi katulad ng video na nakita natin kanina, marami na po sa aming mga visually impaired ay aspiring to become professional people na, professional individuals. So most of us really want to pursue as much as we can, really want to pursue college, undergrad to tertiary level in general. So tulad ko, I'm an undergrad of elementary education, major in SPED, and I know a lot of people, a lot of visually impaired friends who are already masters, and in fact PhDs na po sa kanilang mga fields. All through the help of assistive technology. Yeah, so apart from this, sinabi ko rin dun sa email ko with nila Ma'am Moya and Ma'am Serbo, na na maraming applications pa. Hindi lang itong mga to. Hindi lang ito yung mga applications na ginagamit po namin to help us in our daily lives, either through education, livelihood, or employment. Meron din po mga different kinds of applications in mobile phones, tulad ng SuperSense at Envision AI. Ito mga klase-klaseng applications na ito, ginagamit nila yung camera ng device mo to know what's around you, physically what's around you. Meron bang chair in front of you? Meron bang table in front of you? So you just have to use the camera of your phone with that application sa Android or sa iPhone to know the colors and sino nandyan sa harap mo. It can also recognize people's faces actually. It can also recognize texts, siguro sa mga resibo, ganyan, at saka sa mga objects in front of your on table. Meron din po kami mga tinatawag na cash reading application or cash reader na tinatawag. Yun nga, merong isang particular application na, yes, ang literal na pangalan niya is cash reader. So, we can download that for free in Google Play Store or Apple App Store. And what it does is it can read banknotes, kahit Philippine money, pwede. Kahit walang internet connection. So, through that, we can independently be able to walk on our own, navigate on our own using these kinds of applications. We also have accessible calculator for us to help out with our math problems, So, marami na po mga ganitong klaseng devices. But basically, all of these can be navigated well through the help of screen reader. Yan. So, yeah, so I just want to leave you guys with this particular quote before I go. So I hope that you have learned something today, kahit konti, about the kind of technology that we normally use in our daily lives for our education, employment, and livelihood. So, assistive technology empowers us to become from being less help as a result of help us from being helpless to being less help now, because of the newfound independence that we have. So through the help of this assistive technology, we're now where we are currently because of it. So without the help or without aid of assistive technology, I don't think we would be able to be productive in the society as we are right now. So yeah, with that being said, I hope you learned something for today in this small talk. And if you want to reach me out, I can easily be reached through my email or through my Facebook. You just have to search Gerard Perry Novella. And you can also visit the official website of Atrieve where we finished our technology training. You can just go through atrieve.org. Yan. So maraming salamat po everyone and good morning.
Yeah, thank you, Sir Gerard. Okay. We'll be having a quick health break. So let us have a health break or CR break for 2 minutes. And after a while, we'll be going back to our program again. Again, for those who have any questions or please feel free to use our chat box. We'll be trying our best to read all of your questions later during our open forum session. Thank you. You can have your health break very quickly.
Okay.
If, while we're waiting, I think some of you would definitely need to go to have our help break. But those who do not need, you can use our chat box in case you have some learnings that you would like to share to us. I can read it for all of you, or if you'd really love to share it um, by opening your mic, just raise your hand. But just we just like to let you know that it would be limited, since we would definitely try our best to, of course, cater as well the messages or the questions from the Facebook Live as well. Okay. So for now po, I'll be reading the ones on the chat box. So from Mamaika Mariano, good day to all. First of all, thank you to sa PNU and Sir Novella for this webinar. So for the question, I'll be reading it in a few minutes. Then congratulations, sir. We all hope all visually impaired students and people are like you, very optimistic from Mary and Espiritu. And from Sir Celine, thank you, Sir Gerard. Thank you as well from Ma'am Charlene. Thank you as well from Ma'am Jovelyn. And thank you as well from Ma'am Sheila. There po. So, at this point in the program, we will now be accepting participants' questions. So, 3 questions will be entertained here in the from the Google Meet participants and 3 questions from our Facebook Live participants. We'll be starting first with a question from Ma'am Maika Mariano. So, my question po for sir is, sa teachers like my age, which is 50s, which is the easiest software or hardware to use to help out learning um, learners with disabilities with visual impairment?
Yes, thank you so much for that question. Uh, for the easiest software, as for the hardware, you don't have to worry about what particular hardware kasi tulad ng sinabi kanina, same lang din yung mga computers na ginagamit po ninyo. As little as yung mga, siguro when it comes to specifications of computers, as little as yung mga AMD na A6 or A8 processors, yung mga 4 gig in RAM, yung mga computers sa mga PisoNet, ganyan. So, yun, pwede na po yung gamitin for a visually impaired person to use or to learn using a computer. As for software, anyway, um, they can use NVDA. Actually, recommend ko po yung NVDA, which is a free software or free application, screen reading application that can freely install in your computer, and you can download it for free kahit kayo. Pwede niyo po siyang ma-access through nvaccess.org. And it's fairly lightweight, so hindi siya matrabaho, hindi siya mabigat sa RAM or sa storage anywhere else. It's just a very small application for us to be able to use the computer. Yun. So Apart from that nga pala, nakalimutan ko din ano, I really apologize because I really intended to do a little demo about this application, this screen reader. So please allow me, ma'am, if I have a small minute, yeah, a small
Sure,
time
sure.
to,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So siguro isi-share ko din ulit yung screen ko to let you see what's happening. Uh, one moment ulit.
Okay. Sige po.
Okay. Pres okay, okay, so all right. So again, you can see my screen po, no? And you can see my desktop, for example. Nakikita
Thank
naman
you,
po, hindi?
Divine.
Yes po, ma'am. Okay. So halimbawa po, no? For us to be able to understand how this screen reader works, I will show you and let you listen to it. Hopefully, you can hear it though. Halimbawa, magbubukas ako ng Word, ganyan. Tapos, papalitan natin para mas maintindihan niyo po yung speech niya. Ayan, tapos, i-reroute ko lang. Yan.
Document one word.
Ayan, narinig naman po yung
Microsoft
audio, ma'am, no?
Word doc.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes po.
so, and then for everyone, para mas maintindihan nyo yung navigation niya, I will also show the log, yung parang, ano yung sinasabi niya, nakikita niyo rin on the screen. So, I'll
And
enable this feature.
preferences sub tool sub menu view
Uh,
speech viewer
yan,
S.
speech viewer, enable natin yan.
Document one word.
So, para makita nyo ano yung sinasabi niya, right? Kasi siguro may iba sa inyo hindi maintindihan yung sinasabi niya, mabilis, ganyan. So, para makita niyo po yung ginagawa ko. So, tulad nito, so anything that I type on the screen using my keyboard, ganyan, ay sinasabi din niya, halimbawa. So, like this,
HELLO space
pati space.
EVERYONE dot
Magtatagalog tayo.
space KAMUSTA space PO space KAYO question.
So, 'di ba nakikita niyo po yung ginagawa ko, yung sinasabi niya. So, papabasahin natin siya. I'll press down arrow.
Hello everyone. Kamusta po kayo?
Sino nakaintindi sa sinabi niya? Anyone? Yan. So,
Hello
sinabi niya
everyone.
in English. I can also
H
let it read word by word. So, halimbawa,
hello
hello,
everyone.
everyone.
Dot kamusta
Kamusta
po
po
kayo?
kayo? So, medyo slang nga lang siya kasi yun nga, yung TTS or text-to-speech na engine na ginagamit ko ngayon from Windows, native native speaker, well, English yung accent niya. So, of course, Tagalog to, so hindi niya mababasa in our own native language. But just for everyone, just a fun fact lang din, no? Meron din pong TTS na Filipino. So, you can actually try that out using your phones kung naka-Android ka halimbawa, or even I think iPhones too kasi wala akong iPhone.
Hello everyone.
So, merong Filipino TTS. So, it's a fun thing to listen to actually if you want to. And dito din sa Microsoft Edge, if you want, sa mga computers ninyo, you can also let the Microsoft Edge browser read aloud yung mga contents na nasa website or yung mismong PDF, ganyan. Kung tinatamad kayo halimbawa na basahin yung mga contents of a particular document on your own, you can let the Microsoft Edge read it kung naka-PDF lang siya or website. And it has different voices that you can choose too if you want. Merong English, merong Australian accent, American accent, meron ding Filipino actually. So, nakakatuwa yung mga ganitong klaseng applications po. So, yeah, this is how it works. So, everything that is happening on the screen and whatever I'm doing, it says everything. So, halimbawa
Desktop
ito.
list crisp 6 of
Mm,
document meet YFSBDWJ meet YFSBD toggle
halimbawa,
invitation for a web
okay.
blank. See you blank on Tuesday, May 20th.
So, sinasabi niya lahat. Halimbawa, itong invitation letter.
Blank. Thank you so much for reaching out. Put in my PPT file.
So, yeah. That's how this particular screen reader application works. So through this, we can independently write our reports, our essays, or even thesis, whatever we need to do in our computer. Tulad nga nito, dati isa akong article writer, ganyan, a story writer, web content writer before, around 2014 to 2015. And I also did a lot of transcription, general transcription through the help of this technology. Nalalaman ko kung mali ba yung spelling ko, tama ba yung mga sinusulat ko from my transcript, ganyan. So, yeah, technology really helps a lot as long as we're just so determined to pursue betterment and empowerment and improvement in our lives. Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am.
Document audio,
So, thank you so much
Yes.
po.
Opo.
speaker,
Thank you very much, Sir Jared, for that quick
speakers,
uh,
real,
info of how it actually looks like or how does it sound like, and of course, how it is
micro,
actually used
speaker,
as well. So that
Jabria,
is very informative, and of course, we all here are really appreciate that one. So another question,
Select
sir.
Windows
I
1
have
Nos
visual impaired student,
Windows
350 grade with low hearing tools. Is it okay if I will teach him Braille, or should we go on directly to assistive devices?
Yes, as for that, sorry, anong pong age ng visual impaired or
Aut
Um,
something? Anong concern?
I think the grade for the ISO is 350 with low hearing.
Okay. Low vision. Um, ano po muna siguro, mas mabuti technology muna.
Technology po.
Technology kasi may nakikita pa naman siya, so that vision can help him navigate around, and with the help of this screen reader po, siguro kung magiging severe na yung condition na, sana hindi muna, that's the time that we can teach them braille.
Speakers
Braille
Realtek
po.
Mm.
Realtek
I hope that
Digital Out
answered your question po,
Headphones
Mary Ann.
Crisp Speak
Then another one here.
Headphones
Ito one po.
3H
Here po. Some thanks po and appreciation from the participants that I'll be asking some po to open their mics for the questions. So we'll just read very quickly the ones on the chat box. Appreciate your expertise on these kinds of technology, Sir Gerald. You
Mm.
are an inspiration.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Sir Gerald. It was very informative and useful. I appreciate all the software recommendations, especially citing their pros and cons. Very helpful. Thank you for sharing your skills and knowledge generously today. Ang galing. And next one po, thank you for sharing your knowledge and skills in assistive technology. From Ma'am Maika, sir, I just hope that government will provide free training for teachers, especially SPED teachers, for us to be able to teach, to reach out more visually impaired students, and training
Yeah.
is very important po.
Oh,
Then,
yeah.
Ma'am Lids Valencia po, thank you, Sir Jared, for sharing your thoughts. But we do hope the government will definitely be helping as well these teachers po, so that they can reach out to those students that are visually impaired. Then, we'll be calling some po. Those who are raising their hand, will start first po from Ma'am Sherry Ann. Yes, ma'am, you can open your mic po. Ma'am Sherry Ann. Okay po. Well, I think Ma'am Sherry Ann is still fixing her mic. I'll call first Ma'am Precious. Yes po, Ma'am Precious. You can open your mic po. Ma'am Precious, you can open your mic po to ask your question, or if you have any insights that you would like to share that you gained from our webinar training. It's okay po. How about po Ma'am Vanessa? Yes po, Ma'am Vanessa.
Good morning, everyone, especially to our speaker po. Thank you so much for inspiring us na maging, tawag do'n, maging isang, mabuting, guro. Kasi I'm just new in the service sa public school po and, siyempre baguhan and then it's my first time na, tawag dito, maka-encounter ng student na totally blind.
Mhm.
So, I'll just ask po kasi hindi ko na-screenshot kanina yung, tawag do'n, yung pinakita niyo pong application,
Aha.
yung dinemo niyo po. So, I'll just ask kung ano po ulit yung application na yon and then if
Mhm.
it is a free or may bayad po para
Yes.
ma-share ko po sa students ko. Thank
Yes
you
po,
po.
ma'am. Okay po. Maraming salamat po, ma'am, for that question. Yes, it's a freeware. Yung pinakita ko po at tsaka ginagamit ko talaga na application or screen reader application dito sa computer ko po is yung tinatawag po na NVDA. I don't know if you can share my screen again. Yeah, so type nyo na lang po NVDA or it stands for Non-Visual Desktop Access. So, yeah, NVDA, thank you. And you can access that through nvaccess.org. Yun yung official website niya. NV Access, so that's NVACCESS.org. That's the official website of NVDA. Aha, yes, application. You can simultaneously download that, alternatively download that through to another website. Meron isang particular na website na parang repository po namin ng mga apps or software na ginagamit po namin particularly. Ang gumawa ng website na ito ay yung mga Indian programmers para po mag-gather lahat ng mga applications na useful po for us. So you can also visit their website. You can go to blindhelp.net. That's of course blindhelp.net. So, nandyan po lahat ng halos lahat po ng mga useful applications na ginagamit po namin. Opo. So, yung NVDA along with the kasi yung pag dinownload po kasi natin, ma'am, yung NVDA from nvaccess.org, yung mismong NVDA lang talaga na screen reader yung makukuha natin. Pero kasi ang boses kasi na ginagamit po ng NVDA, medyo robotic siya, yung e-speak na TTS yung ginagamit niya, which is very robotic at the same time baka hindi ma-appreciate po ng visually impaired at first time use. So we recommend yung ginagamit ko po kanina. Hindi pala yon. Yung parang robotic na medyo ano siya, clear yung boses niya na commonly talaga globally ginagamit ng mga visually impaired, yung tinatawag na eloquence TTS. Coming from Diyos naman yun na in-extract nila para magamit din sa NVDA. So, para magamit para ma-download din sila at magamit yung bundle na kasama niyan, yung dalawang yan, yung Eloquence TTS at saka yung NVDA, mas i-recommend ko na you go to blindhelp.net kasi nandoon na yun. Merong link doon na both yung NVDA at saka yung Eloquence na ang magkukuha niyo together. So, yun.
Additional, question lang po.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry,
Sure, sure. No problem po.
medyo curious ako. Is this applicable po sa totally blind po talaga na student?
Yes,
Or,
ma'am.
okay,
It is
sige.
really intended for all blind people, especially totally blind people po.
Thank you po, thank you po.
Ah, ah. For Windows lang po pala siya, ma'am, ha? Hindi siya for Android or for iPhone. Windows lang po pwedeng i-install ang NVDA.
Sige, sige, thank you po.
Okay po.
Are there any questions po that you would like to ask from Sir Gerard? How about in our Facebook Live? Are there any po? My colleagues, kindly check po if they have any questions that you would like to ask. Then don't forget po, you may also like and follow the official Facebook page of at here for more webinars and trainings out there. You can click on the link that is on the chat box. Yes, Ma'am Mary Ann po. Yes po.
Hello sir, good morning po.
Good morning.
Good morning po sa lahat ng mga boss natin dito sa PNU at sa mga classmates. Sir, tanong ko lang,
Yes, ma'am.
kasi VI teacher talaga ako, nagtitesis na ako
Opo.
sa PNU. So, which one do you recommend bilang isang VI teacher? Assistive device or talagang we have to learn the braille for our students. We have to teach them the braille.
Mm. Well, fundamentally speaking, Braille really helps din po. When it comes to especially alphabets and spelling, especially spelling for reading, at saka yung for reading proficiency po, no. But when it comes to navigation and possibly when it comes to learning and lessons, especially in high school, um, dapat ituro na rin po natin simultaneously yung technology, yung assistive technology po, yung screen reader. Para kasi lalo na ngayon, karamihan ng mga outputs natin soft copy na po, di ba? Through tapos may mga meetings tayo through Google Meet, ganyan, yung mga classes hybrid na ganyan. So, mas maigi na rin po. Siguro magsasama silang dalawa, you know, at on the first part of the period, siguro on the side learn sila ng Braille, tapos on the side too, sa second part is they have to learn how to use technology para po maging independent sila and to learn more. Kasi mas marami silang mala-learn kung makakapag-browse sila sa internet, ganyan, watch through YouTube tutorials maybe, or browse through different websites or blogs po, no? And they can also communicate better through the help of this social media, ganyan, through the help of technology. So, siguro they come in together po, ma'am. Braille for fundamental use, for fundamental knowledge of the alphabets and spelling proficiency, and technology for education aid, ganyan, when it comes to research and studies.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes po, ma'am.
There. Okay. There. Are there any more questions? If none, we'll be moving now to the next part of our webinar training. Now to present the certificate of recognition, may we call now Doc Shirley and Serbo to read the citation.
Okay, so before I read the citation, I would like to again thank Sir Gerard Perry P. Novella. We learned a lot in the seminar that we attended, the training. He was our instructor. He was very, very good. I hope that this webinar will whet the appetite of people to really learn paano gagamitin, paano magiging ano ba, yung technology, yung aming ginagawang PowerPoint and everything ay accessible, yung mga documents para sa blind and everything. So I hope that palalimin palalo ng lahat ng kanilang pagkatuto. So to read the certificate, okay, certificate of recognition. The certificate is presented to Gerard Perry P. Novella in grateful acknowledgement of his distinguished and invaluable service rendered as speaker in the Breaking into Tech Assistive Technology for People with Visual Impairment webinar held on May 27, 2023 via the Google Meet. Signed, Sherilyn T. Moya, President CISPED. Yours truly, Advisor CISPED. Okay, thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause to our speaker for the day.
Here, we would be taking a quick photo op. So we would like to ask all of us to have our cameras on so that we will be able to document this meaningful and of course wonderful webinar training again. So may we ask all of you to have your cameras on there. So we'll be taking photos po. Kindly make sure that you continue smiling. We'll be taking photos from different sides po. So there are a lot of here we will be taking photos of you. Kindly smile, continue smiling po in 3, 2, 1, smile. There, one more po. You can make a wacky pose po, a heart or peace sign. 1, 2, 3, wacky. There po. So now, thank you very much po. You can have your